Hola clase, voy a hacerte un video corto para mostrarte um, ejemplos en español de cómo usar el verbo en el preterito. Entonces, esos son los verbos de capítulo 15 que estamos trabajando en esas actividades. Entonces, yo voy a repasar un poquito con esto con ustedes, con frases completas también para traducir en español. Entonces yo voy a mostrarte mi computadora también con mi cara y ojalá que va a funcionar. Entonces, vamos a empezar. So, hey guys, I am making you a quick video with examples this time of how to use the preterite, in particular with the three verbs that we're working on in chapter 15. So that would be estar, tener, and ponerse. So I'm screen sharing with you so that you guys can see what I'm looking at. I just want to remind you where this stuff is real quick. So you can see on my screen right now that I'm actually in your textbook. I am in your chapter 15, and the page that I'm looking at is El Preterito de Estar, Tener y Ponerse. Okay, so I made you a video that I'm putting up with this one as well, so I hope that you'll watch that one first and then watch this one. The other one was just going through how to actually conjugate these three verbs into the preterite tense, just to remind you guys what the endings are of the preterite tense, and then these ones are what we would consider irregular ones. So I just went through and showed you how to conjugate them, in particular with ponerse, because it has the se at the end of it and what we do with that. So anyways, watch that video and then look at this one because that will be the most logical order. Anyways, what I'm trying to show you here is the verbs are conjugated on this page for you. So you have a star in el preterito. Here are your verb tenses, and they do include the vosotros, so just be aware it's there. It's got the pronouns beside it. Each of the verbs are conjugated next to it in case you're wondering where those are, and then the English is off to the right of it. If you need to, you can click on these things and it'll tell you how to say them. And then underneath of each verb section, they give you example sentences right here of how to use these verbs. So before we actually go through any of these, I just wanted to remind you in your chapter section, you actually had okay, actually this came out of chapter 14. You had a section that gave you the preterite and like the clue words for when to use the preterite, I do believe, which right now I'm not finding, of course. I shared them with you in another video that I did for you guys too and told you that you should take notes on them. Oh, I just was going to see if I could find it real quick, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. Sorry, guys. Anyway, all right. They were like ayer, anoche, la semana pasada, those kind of things. So if you're not remembering those, make sure you go back and you look in your notes or look in the previous video that I made for you guys. All of your videos, by the way, in case you haven't found them yet, you can find them on YouTube if you just search my name, or if you look them up by CHS Spanish 2, you can find any of the past videos. They're also in your Google Classroom, and I've sent you them as email links as well. Okay, so anyways, this was a star. We have estuve, estuviste, estuvo, estuvimos, y estuvieron are the five that we will use most commonly. Okay, the example sentences down here are ayer estuve cansada, yesterday I was tired. La semana pasada estuviste asustado, last week you were frightened. Hace 2 días estuvimos enfermos. So 2 days ago we were sick. okay? That would be how we would use those. So these things at the beginning here, the ayer, the la semana pasada, hace blank días, those were the clue phrases to tell you that you needed to use the preterite verb. So you're going to continue to use those as you're making sentences. Okay, so that was a star. Here's tener. We have tuve, tuviste, tuvo, tuvimos, y tuvieron. So if you're looking at a star and how it conjugates and tener and how it conjugates, you're going to notice that they're really, really similar, okay? That's a good thing. They do conjugate irregularly, like I said, and so these are the most regular that you're going to see in this tense, okay, is a star and tuviste, which is weird because normally there are irregulars in the present tense. Okay, and then underneath, there were example sentences here. So, esta mañana María tuvo frío. This morning, Maria was cold. Ellos tuvieron prisa anoche. They were in a hurry last night. Yo tuve ganas de ir al teatro. I had a desire, like I wanted to go to the theater, is how we understand that. And those would be the example sentences for that. And then we get into ponerse, and if you watched the past video, I reminded you that the se at the end indicates that our verb is reflexive. So when you go and conjugate it, you have to put those reflexive pronouns out in front, which was the me, te, se, nos, and se. Os if you're using vosotros, but we don't use that one very often. So just be aware it exists, but we don't use it very much. So we have me puse, te pusiste, se puso, nos pusimos, and se pusieron. All right, so these mean, in this case, poner becomes to become or to get, right? But in the past tense. So in this case, when we're looking at ponerse in the preterite, it is I became or I got, like I got sick after eating food that was bad for me or something like that. Okay, so that's what we're going to mean. We're going to mean when we're using them this time. So their example sentences are down here. Me puse triste ayer. I became sad yesterday, or I was sad yesterday. Could be another way that we understand that. I got sad yesterday. Mi mamá se puso nerviosa anoche. My mother was nervous last night, or became nervous last night. Okay. Hace 3 semanas nos pusimos furiosos. 3 weeks ago, we became furious, or we were furious. We got angry, essentially. Okay, so those are just the verbs that you had in the example sentences that they provided for you. So what I wanted to do then is I wanted to create some example sentences for you. So that's what I've done here on my screen, is I've created 4 sentences that use those key words at the beginning to clue us into the fact that we need to use the preterite. So I'm just going to go through it and translate with you guys so you can see what I mean. So my first sentence is, yesterday I was busy. So that's going to become ayer. And then I'm going to use the yo form of the preterite verb estar. So estuve. And then because I'm a girl, when I say busy, I'm going to say ocupada. So ayer estuve ocupada. Yesterday I was busy. Okay. And then you would adjust, obviously, for gender or person who's talking about. Because I'm talking about myself, I have to use the yo form. So last week, I felt like going to the movie theater. This is going to be the tener phrasing, because what I'm going to use is like that example where they gave you the desire to go to the theater. I'm going to say tener ganas is the phrasing I'm going to take, and then I'm going to make it preterite. So I'm going to say la semana pasada tuve, because it's got to be past tense, ganas de ir al cine. Okay, so last week I felt like going to the movie, or I wanted to go to the movie. Okay, last month then I'm going to say el mes pasado. And notice how semana is feminine. So when I do, I didn't do it. Okay, when you make it into the past tense phrasing right here, la semana pasada, all right, and then last month, month is masculine, so I'm going to say el mes pasado, and then I'm going to use the I became. So this is going to be ponerse, but we're going to make it into the preterite tense. So because I'm talking about myself, this is something that I became. I'm going to say me puse, okay? And if you just want to double check yourself, right here, me puse. So I became nerviosa, because I'm a girl, para en, and I'm going to cheat a little bit, enseñar en línea, which I'm pretty sure that I has an accent and I forgot it. There we go. So mes pasado me puse nerviosa para enseñar en línea. So last month I became nervous to teach online. So that's what I got to do here. I got to make everything masculine here. I've got to make this reflexive back to myself. Me puse, I made myself, or I became nervous to teach online. Okay. Last one then, we have anoche, or, ooh, sorry, I got a little Spanglish going on, I guess. This should say last night. Last night, I was frightened of the storm, so I would start that sentence by saying anoche, and then I'm going to go back to using a star, and I'm going to put it into the yo preterite, okay? So it's going to be estuve, just like our example sentence up at the top, and then I'm going to say asustada, frightened, and then I could say por qué, or I could say acaso de la tormenta. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm using my clue phrasing to let me know that this needs to be past tense. I'm using my past tense verb, my descriptive adjective of what I was or became or how I felt. And then I'm doing my clause that tells me why I was frightened because of the storm. Okay, so that's kind of what you're seeing going on with all of these sentences. You're going to see clauses that are dependent or independent. You're going to see prepositional phrases at the end of these sentences. So when I tell you that you need to use your preterite tense construction, this is what I mean, okay? Your sentence is typically going to start with one of these words that clues us into the fact that it's past tense, it's already happened. Then it's going to have your verb, and then it's going to tell us what actually happened in the rest of the sentence. Okay, so if you guys have any questions on this, or if this video doesn't clear things up for you, please let me know. I would be happy to help. I love doing Zoom meetings with you guys, so if you need some one-on-one help and support and you want me to try to talk you through your homework, I am more than happy to do that. Just let me know and we'll get something set up, okay? I'm going to put this into your Google Classroom. It's going to be on YouTube, and I'm going to send a link with both of the videos for you guys for this section through an email to let you know that everything is there up to date, okay? Your assignments are live officially on Voces, and they're going to be put into Google Classroom as well. So be looking up for those. Seniors, this is your last week of new assignments officially, so please make sure that you're keeping up on stuff. If you have questions, let me know. If you need help, let me know, because after this it's mostly catch up and grading and you guys are done. Oh my gosh. All right, well, I'm gonna sign off this video and I will talk to you guys later. Adios.